We are 4 weeks through the 2025 college football season, and when it comes to the Tennessee Volunteers, there's one guy, one transfer portal addition I really want to highlight and talk about on today's show that's been an absolute gem, and all the success that this team's had and the success this team will have going forward. I think a lot of it is because of his addition. And no, I'm going to give you a hint. It's not Joey Aguilar. We've talked about Joey Aguilar probably more than any other Tennessee football YouTube channel on this platform, and we're going to continue talking about Joey Aguilar through the rest of the season, but today I wanted to highlight somebody else. And if you look back at the transfer portal haul throughout this offseason, you see 7 big names, right? Or 7 names. The funny thing is none of them very, very big. And in my opinion, that's kind of Josh Heupel's portal strategy. That's what we've seen over the last half decade since he's been the head honcho at Tennessee. He's never going to 100% rely on the portal, and he never really is going to get the big, hot, expensive, sexy name that you see. He's just going to get a lot of guys who he feels like are high character guys, really good ball players, and then he'll develop them at Tennessee. And that is the exact formula for this guy that we're going to discuss today. Before we got to do that, though, I got to shed some light on our Week 5 sub battle because we are getting destroyed by the Alabama football report. It's Georgia week for them. It's a big week. They're feeling good. They've gotten a couple of wins. Unfortunately, they're up 46, okay? I can't lose to Alabama. I hate it. I can't do it. I need you guys to help me make that not a reality, okay? I need 50 diehard Vol fans to hit that subscribe button. Help us take down the Alabama football report, and in return, you get daily videos all 100% free. It's a pretty great trade-off. Colton Hood, that is who we're going to talk about today. He's been way better than you think, okay? And I know you're probably sitting there saying, Joey, I think Colton Hood has been phenomenal. But I think at the end of today's video, you're going to look back and say, man, you were right. He has been a lot better than even I thought. To know a little bit more about him, let's take a look under the hood. 6 foot, 195 pounds, transferred in this offseason from Colorado. And so far in 2025, 13 tackles, no interceptions yet, but 5 pass breakups. He does have a touchdown from a scoop and score Week 1 against Syracuse. That was pretty electric. The thing about Colton Hood, though, when he entered the transfer portal and when he originally came to Tennessee, it really didn't turn a lot of heads. Sure did not get much coverage at all, definitely no national coverage, because when you looked at the transfer portal class for the entire NCAA, he was not a top 40 cornerback or a top 400 player in the transfer portal. That means via On3, 24/7, they believe there was 400 guys in the portal that were better than Colton Hood. Well, I find that very, very hard to believe because after 4 weeks, he is top 5 in multiple different statistics across all of FBS. When you look at the fewest yards per snap allowed in coverage, he's at the very top of the list when compared against the rest of the country. 0.21. That means when he's in man coverage, per snap, he's allowing less than 1/4 of a yard. Dude's been absolutely unbelievable. If you look at the PFF numbers, and I get it, I agree. PFF numbers, they're not everything, they're not gospel, but they're a useful tool to grade a player, and 93.6. Top 4 across all of college football. And this is the one I really, really like. Catch rate allowed. How good has he been in coverage one-on-one, mano-a-mano? How often is he letting the receiver that's lined up across from him come down with the football? Not very often. Only 18.2%. Second best in all of college football. To put it succinctly, Colton Hood has been unbelievable. He's been phenomenal. He's been far more than I think anybody could have asked him to be or ever thought that he could be. I did a video before the season talking about Colton Hood, talking about how it was highway robbery. And little did I know that I was 100,000,000% right. And even when I did that video, I did not expect this. And I'll tell you why it's been so important for this team that he's been this good coming up in a couple of seconds. Before that, though, okay, I want you guys to get down in the comment section for me. Get down below the video, I should say. And if you've been impressed with Colton Hood this year, show me by liking the video, okay? I've been impressed. If I'm going to, stumble upon this video later in my YouTube browsing, later after I'm done with work, I'm going to throw it a like because I've been so impressed with everything he's done this season. And one of the biggest reasons that it's been so imperative for Tennessee to get this type of play from Colton Hood is because of the guys you've been missing. You went into this year thinking you were going to have one of the, if not the best cornerback duo in the sport with Jermod McCoy and Rickey Gibson. And both of those guys, since game one, when Rickey Gibson left the Syracuse game about halfway through it, they have been gone. They have been missing. Of course, Jermod McCoy tore his ACL in January. Rickey Gibson, like I said, had to exit week one. Hasn't been back yet. Like, can you imagine this season without Colton Hood? You go into it, you lose your two best cornerbacks, the best cornerback duo in the sport, and yet you're still well above water when it comes to his ability to cover and your secondary. Now, I know, I get it. You got a little bit exposed against Georgia. But that wasn't Colton Hood's fault. That was because they got to pick on the true freshman, Ty Redmond, who I still think has a very, very bright future ahead of him. And he's been phenomenal for what he's been asked to do as a three-star true freshman. But, man, this season in coverage for Colton Hood, 16 targets. Only 16 times he's been thrown out. Times he has been thrown out, they've only caught the ball 4 times. It's only gone for 22 yards. And I think this is my favorite statistic because there's a stereotype about quarterbacks. They don't really like to hit. They don't really like to tackle. They're not good at it. Well, his yards after catch is only 6. And if I do the quick math, that's what, 1.5 yards after catch per reception? Look at that. University of Tennessee preparing me to do math in real time in my day job. I'll be honest, though. The funny thing is like I look back to him transferring, I was a tad bit nervous. I thought he might turn into something special, but I also might think, I kind of thought it could have been one of those deals where he was just going to be a guy who never found a home, who never found his spot. Because his senior in high school, he committed to Michigan State. At the very end of that, he decommitted from Michigan State. He signed and enrolled at Auburn in early 2023, played with the Auburn Tigers for that season, then entered the transfer portal, transferred to Colorado in 2024, played for Colorado last season, and then in 2025 in the spring decided to enter the transfer portal again. So I kind of saw all that and said, man, this guy can't stay in one place. He can't make a decision. And we've seen so many players kind of have their careers ruined due to how often they're transferring, and I thought he might be the same guy. I did. I'll be honest with you. You see a decommitment and 2 transfers in 3 years of college, 2 years of college, that can scare you. But now I look back at it and say, you know what? I think he just needed to find the right place. I think he just needed to find the right home. And he's found that with Willie Martinez. He's found that with Tim Banks. And he's found that in the University of Tennessee. Now for this weekend, it's going to be one of his biggest tests. Not his biggest test because he already had to cover Zachariah Branch, play against the Georgia Bulldogs. But Mississippi State, they can sling the pill, man. They've got some really good wide receivers as well. Brennan Thompson, almost 300 yards. Anthony Evans, almost 300 yards. 5 touchdowns for those 2 guys combined. Don't forget about Jordan Mosley either. Just a little bit under 150 yards, but that's on 4 receptions. He's got a touchdown to his name as well. Now for Colton Hood. I'm just at the point where I hope he continues to play well this year, and then I'm just hoping and I'm praying that he comes back next season. Because right now he's getting a little bit of draft buzz, getting some draft love. CBS's most recent mock draft actually had him mocked to go to Cleveland in the first round, like late middle, probably around the 20th range. If that's the case, good for him. Go get your bag. Go live out your future. But I want you to come back to Tennessee. I want you to give one more year to the Tennessee Volunteers because for him, with how he's been playing, one and done, that's not good enough for me. What do you think the odds are that Colton Hood comes back to Tennessee in 2026? You let me know in the comment section down below. Scale it for me 1 to 100. 100 you're saying guarantee, 1 you're saying no chance. Let me know. While you're down there in the comment section, click on that link, chatsports.com/UT-hoodie. It's going to send you this hoodie right here, which you can get for just $22. I ought to just end the ad read right there. I don't really need to say anything else than you could get this thing for $22. I love the Vol Shop more than anybody. Okay? When I was in college, I always was in there. But I was just browsing because that stuff is expensive. Well, you know what's not expensive? $22 for a hoodie. chatsports.com/UT hoodie. That's where you got to go. I'm with that link in the comments and description of today's video. Before we get on out of here, I'm going to give my quick 2026 SEC home schedule and away schedule predictions. As we all know, the SEC schedule came out for next year and the years after that for the next 4 seasons. I'm going to look at 2026. I'm going to predict the wins and losses. LSU, I think that's going to be a win. I think the Tigers are going to take a little bit of a step back because they're just going to have to turn over so much talent, the biggest one being their quarterback, Garrett Nussmeier. So I think the Tigers come into Neyland Stadium and you do what you did to them in Death Valley just 3 years ago, and you win the ball game. Alabama, I think you win that one as well. I think Tennessee and Alabama, as long as Alabama dominated this rivalry that Nick Saban was there, I don't think it's that way anymore. I think this thing is going to go back and forth. It's going to be a home-and-home type series for the next couple of years to come. I think you get that win against the Tide in Neyland Stadium. Auburn, I think you win that ball game as well. I don't know the trajectory of Auburn. They've recruited well, but you can't really see it. You just can't. So they could be good next year. They could be bad next year. Regardless, Neyland's a very hard place to come in and win at. I think you win the ball game. Texas. I'm going to chalk this one up to a loss. Look, when you have Texas, LSU, Alabama all coming into your home stadium, 3 of the better teams in the SEC, 3 of the better programs in the SEC, I think you're going to lose one of those football games. I think it's going to be to Texas. I think Arch is going to come back next year. I think Arch will have to come back next year. And I get it. He has not played very well at all in 2025. I think the Arch Manning you're going to see next year is going to be a lot better than the one you're seeing this year. And because of that, I think Texas is going to win the ball game. They're always also just going to have unbelievable talent on that roster too because it's Texas. But how electric is that going to be? A Manning back in Neyland Stadium. I already texted my in-laws who have season tickets. I said, hey, me and Kennedy, my wife, we're flying to that game. We're going to that game. Kentucky, I think you win that ball game. I'm not going to break this down much. It's Kentucky. They can sucky. You're going to beat them. Now to the away games. You got some fun away matchups as well. I think you win at Arkansas. They're going to have a ton of staff turnover. They're going to have a ton of roster turnover. And based on the hire they make, that's going to set the trajectory for them going forward. But I don't think you're going to see a ton of success in year one with their new regime that they're going to bring in. You win that ball game. You exercise the demons from 2024. And being in Dallas, Texas, 4.5 hours away, you can bet your bottom dollar I'm going to be at that one. Speaking of another game I'm going to go to, I'll be in College Station in 2026 as they take on A&M. Unfortunately, I think it's going to be a loss, okay? A&M, they're going to have some turnover. They're not going to have a ton. And the way they've been recruiting, I believe they have the right guy in Mike Elko. And I think most importantly, it's hard to go into College Station to get a win. You saw that the most in 2016 when you barely lost to them in overtime. You're going to lose a road game, I think. And I think it's going to be at A&M. Because I think you go on the road to South Carolina. I think you win that ball game. Lenora Sellers is not going to be there. You're going to win South Carolina, okay? You're just going to do it. And then Vanderbilt, okay? The final SEC road game. I think you go and win that one as well. Look, I'm not scared of Vanderbilt, even this year when they're good, technically. Sure as hell, I'm not going to be scared of them next year either when Diego Pavia's gone, even though I don't think he's really good. But I'm not going to go down that train. That's going to do it for today's show. Make sure you guys have me on social media, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. I'm everywhere. Make sure you're there with me. At Joey_Vols. Been trying to get that ramped up. Okay, so if you're on TikTok, find me there. I'll put that link in the comment section and description of today's video. And if you're not subscribed, make sure that changes today. Big red sub button down below. Easy to see, easy to press. So join us today.